So there's a funny little story on Twitter. You may have saw it, you may not. I don't know if you keep up with me on Twitter or not, but this is pretty interesting to see. Brack said, I will S6 Uno if I meet Solon on this trip. He said this on August 6th. Then he followed up at the end of the trip and he said, no S6 Uno with a sad face. My free-to-play arc continues. Basically confirming he never met Solon. I also DM'd him behind the scenes and he was like, yeah, I never met him. And my response to this was LCEO. He should have introduced himself to every creator that flew across the globe to be there and set up a Q&A with his approval to bring y'all content and love while there. Jack from Ethereum Restart would never, but these nerds ain't ready to hear that truth. The funny thing is people thought I was like being sarcastic. I was 1 billion% serious here. Because from my perspective, you know, proper business etiquette, these content creators aren't there as fans. They're there on business. They're there to promote your product, which is Wuthering Waves and KURO Games, spread more awareness to it with the influence that they have on their communities, and ultimately bring you more success as a company, right? That's what they're there for. They're there quite literally on business. And in business, a proper etiquette, obviously, is to meet the person that you're doing this work for. Now, of course, if it's something like fucking Coca-Cola, you're not going to meet the Coca-Cola CEO, right? That's a company that's not private. That company is monumentally large, and the chances of the CEO being in the vicinity that you're in are 1 in a million, right? So that's not the perspective I have here. This is more so of like a private company, and it was set up specifically to attend a KURO festival where the odds, the like conditions to make this meeting happen, every single facet was fulfilled except to just straight up come up to each other and say, hi, how's it going? And this is something you would usually do before anything even happens, before they get on the flight or anything. It's already set up through the contractual obligation. You're going to come here, you're going to experience the event, have a good time. After that, you're going to meet the staff behind the scenes and, you know, get the deliverables done, whatever the case may be. But once it's all said and done, for the last hour on the final day of the festival, let's all get together, take some pictures, celebrate the success of the whole event, and let's, you know, if any fans on our staff want pictures with the creators, they can do that. If any fans of the CEO, which is Solon, or, you know, the development team, want to come up and take a picture with them, ask any questions, you can do that. That's the time to do so. Right? This is my perspective, guys. And it's because I understand business, right? I'm one of the creators in this space that didn't just gain a career in life online, chronically online. I had a career before this, still have a career during this, you know, so I understand how these things function. But not only that, I have perfect tangible representation of this. I just got back from Shanghai, China myself, and got to experience this very thing I'm talking about with the Ethereum Restart development team. When it was all said and done, no, you know what I mean? Work was good, deliverables were done, the event was over. The first thing the CEO and the staff did was what I just told you. Hey guys, come over here. Let's all get pictures together. Like, oh man, we had such a fun time. Hey, if you're a fan of Gacha Smack, now's the time to ask them for a picture. Any questions you want to do, yada, yada, yada. And that immediately started happening. It was such a like wholesome experience. So I'm taking that into consideration when I realized that pretty much no creators got to meet, you know, Solon. I was just like, that's so odd to me. And the reason it's odd, guys, is I'm like, you've already done 99% of the business like established here, right? You flew them out. They came to the event. At this point, how did that not happen? And then just recently, I watched the interview of Solon on stage at the festival, and it answered every question. The odd, weird feeling I had, I was like, how does that happen, bro? Like, it doesn't make sense. Then I saw this guy on stage and I was like, oh, that's probably why it didn't happen. And I want to react to that right now, because that is why I said I misjudged him. I'm wrong about him. The guy's cool. He's okay. There's just some things that were clearly incredibly obvious to me, because I'm just able to like look through people and kind of see what's going on. Why this never happened, most likely. Let's go ahead and check it out though. Okay, so it's only 3 minutes long. By the way, the creator that uploaded it is Narushio, who is a monumental fan of KURO Games. But yeah, in case you want to check this out, this is the creator you can go to. I'll be sure to link it in the description box. I love that song, dog. So this is Solon coming out on stage. What did he just say, bro? Bro, did you just call me a nigga? There is a word in Chinese that is so similar to nigga. It's the funniest shit ever. It's Pokey told us that it's actually them referring to like that one or this one. But yeah, they just be like, nigga, they be spamming that shit, bro. It's funny as hell.
大家今天玩的还开心吗？谢谢谢谢谢谢。首先我想代表那个我们库洛全体的
I'm telling you, they be spamming that shit, bro.
成员感谢一下今天到场的所有的指挥官、漂泊者，也要感谢我们整个库洛 Face 展的所有的台前幕后，包括所有的歌手。 因为有了你们的到来，你们的支持，有了这些台前幕后的这些全体的成员们的支持和努力，才有了我们这2天这个第一次的库洛费展可以圆满的举办下来。
So he pretty much just said, like, thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you for your hard work, whether you're in front or behind the scenes. I appreciate you guys for coming out, right? And he's referring to pretty much quite literally everyone there. But this next part is interesting because he just spent, I guess, the first minute of his speech saying thank you, right? Now check this out.
好，还是最后再谢谢一下，感谢，谢谢，谢谢。
He said, all right, one more round. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is totally, and it's not like I'm like micro analyzing this guy to make him look bad or any. In fact, to the contrary, I'm trying to represent the I misjudged them scenario. It is so clear to me that this dude is a nervous wreck, that he is quite literally on the inside shitting bricks. And this is something that I can recognize because there's been plenty of times where I've had to perform on the spot in a situation where I was nervous. And it's a proper thing to do at speeches, to buy yourself some time to find your bearings, to like say something like, oh, let's just get another round of thank yous again. And then meanwhile, you're like, oh shit, bro, what am I gonna say? You know, it's clear that the guy is super fucking nervous. You know what I mean?
其实我们库洛 Face 展其实从去年就已经在准备了，就希望说，库洛真的可以真真正正的好好的办一次，库洛的玩家们在线下的一场聚会。
Basically saying they wanted to do a proper event offline and make sure it was successful.
对，也希望尽我们最大的努力去给大家带来一个好
I wanted to make sure everybody had
的
fun.
超越大家预期的。
A beyond expectations
其实开始
experience.
办的时候还是蛮忐忑的，不知道是不是真的。
He said, honestly, when we planned it, we didn't even know if people would actually come, which is a crazy thing to say. Some of you guys might be thinking that he's full of shit, and I would say that he's 100% being sincere here, because I'll let him finish actually, and then I'll get into it.
会有人来。对对对对。 但我觉得今天这2天办下来之后，我觉得给了我们团队非
After these past 2 days, I feel our team has gained a tremendous confidence and encouragement.
常大的信心。
So I'll wait. There's something else that's going to tie into this, but basically, like, I think this guy still doesn't understand. And like I said, I can understand the pushback on me, especially if you're a hater of KURO games. Saying like, oh, he understands by the amount of money that he's seeing every single month and stuff like, and so on and so forth. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is there's a difference between the money entering your account versus tangible support from fans in person, right? It's a whole different ball game. This is the first time they've ever held this event ever, right? And so they don't even know who's going to show up and who's not going to show up. And if you think about that, they want this event to be incredibly successful. A lot of money went into this event, right? From flying the creators out, probably paying them to do deliverables when they get back, plus the staff employed there. There's a big amount of budget going into this event. And so obviously they want it to succeed. And all that pressure is going to fall on to, of course, him, Solon, the guy. And the staff as well. And so I can only imagine how much stress, concern, and expectations are in this guy's like brain right now as well as his heart. And so it's one of those situations where, do I think he should have made time to like introduce himself to the creators? Absolutely, because at the most 30 creators showed up from the Western audience demographic, and then from the Eastern 30, or maybe even double that, maybe 60, but it was no way more than 100 creators showed up to this event. There's no fucking way. That's a lot of content creators to get invited to an event like this. I would say tops, and this is me like giving them, I'd say 60 people showed up, but at tops 100 people showed up. And so for me, there's no way you couldn't have made time to meet these guys at some point during the festival, whether it be at the beginning, the end, in between, you know, at the office, after you have them do the office tour. There's a number of ways for you to introduce yourself to them. But now, with that said, this is his first time doing this event. That means the guy's a nervous wreck, and there's a billion things going through his mind, right? And ultimately, the number one priority is ensuring in his brain that the festival is a success. And you know what's funny? When you have that kind of expectation put on you, one of the things you're definitely thinking is, I hope everyone's having a good time, but I can't wait for this shit to be over with, just to say, oh, okay, we did it. It's we got that one under our belt. I can take that one with me on my journey, and now I'll be more prepared going forward, right? And so when I put myself in his shoes, which is essentially what I'm doing, he's not an LCEO, right? It's not like it was intentional or he had some pompous attitude where he's like, fuck these guys, I don't need to meet them, I'm the man. No, it was quite literally a matter of, I'm still trying to find my bearings. I'm still getting adjusted to the current success of Wuthering Waves versus 1 year ago when nobody knew who the fuck I was outside of my PGR fandom. And, you know, this is a lot. And now this experience right here that's happening before me is a lot to take in. You know what I mean? And so I think that is the new like perspective I have, especially after watching this.
和鼓舞，我觉得库洛有一个精神是这样子的，就是我们从来没有在公众场合。
He also says kudos a certain spirit. We have a certain spirit. I think right here, once again, the guy's improving because he doesn't know what the hell to talk about because he's nervous as shit. But he basically says like, he wants to meet everybody's expectations. He's basically, like, long story short, saying that him and KURO Games are very passionate, and that's what's carried them all the way into the place that they've arrived at today. This is the part I wanted to get to. He said this has been basically carrying them over the past 11 years. And I think that's an interesting context to add into this whole scenario, because if you think about it, that means for like 9 of those 11 years was the furthest success they had ever gotten was PGR success, right? And now this past year, which is that's how long Wuthering Waves has been out so far, the amount of success they've accrued from this 1 year versus the past 9 to 10 years is actually unfathomable. Now it ain't the Hoyoverse success. That shit was a ridiculous galactic blow up. But honestly, considering post-pandemic and where they've gone to today, it's pretty fucking monumental, man. And so this guy is still getting adjusted to that. He's still getting adjusted to what that is and the impact that he has done in the community that he's grown with the company. And I think that's something that is heavily weighing in on this guy's soul right now. And you know what? The biggest like punch in the face in a good way is the event and the amount of people that showed up, if that makes sense.
支撑着我们这11年，已经11年了，在做的事情，然后我们也很希望这样的一个精神。
He basically says, I hope this kind of spirit extends into you guys. Whether you were online or offline, I hope you had a good time. I wish for us to all over the mountains to far and beyond and witness something even better, all right? And he says, thank you one more time. And then he says a little joke here at the end, I believe. Now let me sing a song for you all. Just kidding. Thank you. Yeah, so it was a short little speech. And you know what's funny? I think bro honestly kind of just said a whole bunch of nothing, which kind of contributes to what I was telling you guys. Bro was just trying to get that speech out the way, make sure everybody understood that he was thankful. And it's basically like this is his first rodeo in doing something like this. And on your first rodeo, nothing's gonna be perfect. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a lot of things that you wish you could have done better and stuff like that. But ultimately, me calling him an LCO was definitely a bit of a like, come on, man. You know, like, but to be fair, I actually didn't know this was their first festival. I thought they was doing this shit every year with PGR regardless, but I think a festival like that probably was a massive budget in terms of like, you know, holding it. And now that they're at the level they're at, especially now that they're partnered with Tencent, they can start doing things like this. But yeah, I think I didn't give him a fair shot. And to be fair, I didn't know like this dude was that nervous. I still believe wholeheartedly proper business etiquette though is to introduce yourself to the creators, unless it's like 1,000 creators. That's just fucking absurd, right? But there's no way it was that many creators. It was like probably, like I said, 60 at most, or not 60 ideally, and maybe like 90 to 100 at most. That's an easy little after party at the KURO festival. Take a bunch of pictures, get them all together, say hi. And here's why I want you guys to understand the value of this only aids the image of KURO games. It only makes everything better. There is no downside to this shit. There literally isn't. If you have a little after party with these guys, take pictures with them, answer a couple of questions and shit, they go back to their communities and they just like literally brag about it. And they brag about you and how down to earth you are. And that makes the whole entire imagery of the community and the impression go, oh, this guy's amazing. And more support comes your way. Like there's no downside. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's only W's if that happens. And the overarching goal of all of this is, once again, going back to what I said in the beginning, to promote positive awareness on KURO games and their video game Wuthering Waves. So yeah, I do think going forward, when you host these KURO festivals, it's important to just introduce yourself to the creators at some point during the trip. And they're going to come back and be like, man, Solon was fucking awesome, bro. Yeah, he was cool. He took a picture with me, man. Or, you know, my experience with Jack, we went out and had drinks. Not like went to a bar. He took us out to dinner, the whole team. And me and Vulcan were sitting next to him the whole time having dinner. And then we had a couple of beers. We talked about our favorite video games that kind of shaped us as creators growing up. And he talked about his past life before he became a developer for Ethereum Restart and how he got into the position he was in. We were having a fucking heart to heart. It was incredible. You know what I'm saying? And so like, that's the type of thing I'm talking about. I'll never forget that experience. I don't give a fuck how many people hate on Ethereum Restart. Jack's the man. Go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'll go to bat for Jack. He was a cool ass dude. And that's just something that is important to do to build good rapport over the longevity of people covering your game, so on and so forth. So I think that's pretty much my 2 cents on that. But at the end of the day, no, I think he's an all right guy. I do. I think he's cool. You know, KURO festivals going forward, I don't give a fuck if I'm ever invited to one or not. I got plenty of business connections in this space to the point where I don't never need any money from KURO games. That's just the reality of it, right? People think like, oh, you're just mad because you didn't go. There's some people that'll say that retarded shit. Bro, I just got back from China. It's hot as hell over there. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of the festivals too. I think after 30 minutes of being there, I'm already ready to go home. I'm just like, you know, it's cool and all, seeing some cosplayers and shit and, you know, people having a good time, but it's just not my type of thing. So for me to be there, you really got to pay me. All right. And right now I'm in the talks with going to Germany literally in 1 week. Right. So like there's plenty of connections for me. I'm just talking about proper business etiquette and how to, you know, do things right by both parties, because it's a symbiotic relationship, right? You're building a career off of this man's video game, but he's building a wealthy fucking prosperous business off of you guys promoting the game. It's a symbiotic relationship. That's gonna wrap it up. Peace, love, and happiness. I hope you guys enjoyed this. But yeah, W Solon, he's good.